clinking silverware over there or something?
I had knives. I was gonna, I was gonna put them up for Wolvie, you know. But then like the countdown started, and I was like, man, I don't have enough time for this. Well, yeah.
This is all staying in. This whole thing.
What's up, Bob? You know. Oh gosh.
Anyways, my name is Ben. That is Jared. Let's just go with it. And we finished watching Xmen season 4. Jared.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Was it a good season? Was it a bad one? Was it What do you think?
I thought it was a great season, if I'm being honest. Like, on par with season 3. So I felt like season 3 had more of like, okay, these are storylines I know and I've wanted to see for a long time and see them done right, like with the Phoenix Saga and the Dark Phoenix. This one was more like storylines I've heard little bits and pieces of, but just like, okay, these are just all like important 2-part episodes. There was no like 6-part one, except for the final 4, but there was no like real 6-part episode randomly in the middle or anything.
This season was very Wolverine heavy.
It was, and I love that.
Very.
You know, I'm biased. I love Wolverine, man.
There'll be some Wolvie.
Yeah. But I'm down to just go ahead and talk episodes if you are. Because I feel like everything was just kind of, you know, either 1 or 2 episodes. Like, there's certain great things about each one that I want to talk about. So, is there one specifically that sticks out to you right away? Or
just a quick disclaimer, spoilers from here on out. Just doing due diligence here. It's okay. I finished this before you did.
Surprisingly,
I'm trying to
I was
remember.
ahead of you the entire time, and then all of a sudden you had a day off, and you were like, "I finished it," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So if you want to go first, I can look through this episode list and remind myself.
Okay. Yeah. So first thing I want to talk about is Sanctuary, which is episodes 3 and 4, which was Magneto's like escape. Like, he made this whole, like, asteroid where he was just going to take all the mutants and give them a place to live. And then all of a sudden he's, like, overthrown by this other guy who's, like, you shouldn't be nice to humans in the slightest. And you see, like, all these differing opinions on, like, race and, you know, being a mutant and, like, how they should view humans. Like, are they superior? Are they inferior? You know? Like, it's so real of a discussion, but done in such a fantasy way. And I just loved everything about those 2 episodes. And then also to see like Charles's old love interest, the like random nurse lady who had never been mentioned before, but apparently they had a whole life together. That was one thing I noticed about this season. So many flashbacks of things we saw, but then also they added things. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And I was going to say, that's why I liked that a lot. They tied stuff together. They didn't ignore stuff that happened previously. They didn't just move on. They would tie things together between episodes. And I liked that a lot. You know, it felt like this was an actual series and not just, you know, adventure of the week, you know?
Absolutely.
Like it felt, I don't know, it had continuity. Are you finished with your episode? Because I have one I really want to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I have what I want to talk about, but for the opposite reasons.
Okay.
One
that one
I didn't like.
Oh, okay. I'm curious. I can't remember.
So this was the Christmas episode.
Oh my god! I forgot about that one.
I'm just going to say, Storm is a cold-hearted man.
That one was so
She did
bad.
not care about them one bit. The show should have been about Storm. Why was it about Wolverine? Who knows? That episode should have been about Storm. She does not accept responsibility for what she did. She just, at one point, instead of like fixing things, she just goes, "Oh, you're the leader now." I'm like, you didn't fix anything. And these people are literally starving in the sewers. Like, I'll leave them there. Oh, they can have these presents. I'm like, you have a feast. back at your mansion that nobody's there to eat.
That's right. That's right. They're like, yeah, we'll stick here and we'll eat your food. Instead of inviting them all back to the mansion, like, oh my gosh, Ben.
I'm like, are you serious?
I had blocked that episode out of my mind. So, okay.
That episode must have been written by somebody else, because that was just like, when did Storm become so heartless? When did people become idiots? Like,
well, then it just felt like very, like, you know, every show pretty much has like the holiday episodes, you know? And sometimes shows, it's like yearly they have the holiday episodes. Thankfully, this show, it's like you got one Christmas episode in the whole show.
But here's the thing. It was a holiday episode, but it wasn't. The holiday was just the theme. It felt like
at the very end, it says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." Signed, the Xmen.
Yeah, they gotta put that in there though.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just didn't feel very holiday-y. It felt like that's just the setting.
The entire time, Jubilee's like, this is the best Christmas I've ever had. I've never had a Christmas like this before. Oh,
okay,
no.
Maybe you're right.
It's the entire episode.
Okay. I just don't. Storm was so cold in that episode, and why did they make it about Wolverine having like a conniption about giving this kid his blood or something?
I know, and he was kind of like, it's. I've tried it twice, and it hasn't worked either time, but it kind of worked one time, but I don't know if I should. I'm not gonna do it. I was like, what?
So you're.
Why are you not going to do it? Just, like, do it. If he's dying anyway, you know?
It's so weird.
That episode was terrible. Okay. Terrible.
Yeah, I know. That one was just like, what?
That took like, me 3 different sittings to get through. I'm not going to lie. Like, I watch the show on my break at work. And that time, it took me 3 different breaks to get through that one. Because I was like, I'm just going to look through Instagram or watch something on YouTube. I don't feel like watching this. I was bored, man. That one bored the heck out of me. So yeah, that's the only one not worth your time. Don't watch that one. Skip over episode 17 or whatever that one was. Was it 17?
Did you have another one you want to talk about?
I do. So
I have a couple. I'll let you go though.
Pretty much every episode this season, I have something to talk about.
Yeah.
So the very next one after Sanctuary was Xavier Remembers. And it was the one where he had a concussion and was put into the astral plane and had to fight, like, the Shadow King. And the Shadow King was, like, trying to make him think everything was okay in these, like, weird parallel dimensions and stuff like that. And, like, none of it was actually real. And then Jean had to figure out a way to communicate with him, and she had to go in the astral plane. And, dude, that episode was just, for it being a one-off, like, that was just a 20-minute episode. That one did so much. It was like, man, this is a good Xavier-centric episode. Like, I'm glad we finally get just an Xavier one, because I feel like he's very background in this show.
So, okay. I don't remember that one very much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say about that. I don't remember that one at all.
You can just move on. You can talk to another one.
I know what happened. I'm just like, okay. So I did have one that I really wanted to mention.
Okay.
Family Ties.
Family Ties. Which one was that one? Oh,
Wanda.
Yes.
And Pietro.
Yes.
Show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was.
And it is the actual story that we know that they are Magneto's kids.
Yes.
I had no idea the High Evolutionary was part of that story at all.
I know, dude. I was like,
that
what?
Man just shows up, and I didn't recognize him at first because I've only seen the live action one. But then he said his name. I was like, my jaw about hit the floor. I was like, what the?
What's going on? Oh gosh, but I mean that was like the same thing with Kilgrave. Like when Purple Man showed up on season 2, it was like,
yep.
What the heck?
Yeah, just out of the blue, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I did not know. I didn't know that. I guess it makes sense that he'd be on Earth because that's kind of the Marvel is mostly about Earth. But
I always thought
I didn't know he was very Earth centric.
Yeah, I always thought he was like, you know.
Now so the area he called was Wondergore. Was the planet in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 called Wondergore?
No.
Like the clone of Earth?
It was called It was called
Was his little
it
workstation
was
called
called something
Wondergore?
else. No, I don't think so. It was
They didn't
something.
reference Wondergore at all.
I want to
I would
say
have thought they would have.
no, because it was like,
Hmm.
I think at that point when they were filming Guardians 3, because like that started with COVID and stuff like that. That was before Disney bought 20th Century Fox. So they might have had
Yeah.
access to use the High Evolutionary, but I don't think they had access to use like specific X-Men location names and stuff yet. So I don't know, just like how they had weird access to use Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver because they are like they're
Well, they are
mutants, but they're
mutants. See,
technically not. I don't know, like it's weird.
but they are. I see. I'm curious if they're going to go down the Scarlet Witch route at any point.
I don't know. Yeah, because who know? I mean, like with them doing X-Men '97, she's such a big character now in the MCU. It's like,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
they going to bring her into that? I don't know. Nothing's been spoiled for me yet about '97, so I'm really
Same.
excited to
I
actually
know
watch
nothing.
that. And I've heard so many good things. Everything I see about it, it's
Really?
like this
I've
show
heard
is
nothing.
10 out of 10, fantastic. It's the highest rated MCU show ever. So
It's an it is MCU.
it is technically because now it's under Marvel Studios banner. So it's like with them doing the multiverse saga.
Okay, but you know what I mean when I say MCU. I don't
Yeah,
mean
so it's not in that timeline, but everything's in the MCU now. Like freaking Captain America from the '70s is an MCU.
what I mean. I guess obviously we don't know yet, but what I mean is the Wolverine in Deadpool Wolverine going to be that Wolverine? That's what I'm getting at. Like,
I think
is it going to actually be part of the MCU that we have come to know, or is it just like a little side story?
no. So here's what I think. So okay, this is completely going off topic. We're gonna speculate on Deadpool and Wolverine real quick. Um, so here's what I think is gonna happen. I think it's gonna be Deadpool is taken from the TVA, and he's basically gonna be told like you're getting put into this timeline now because this timeline is getting pruned, but we need this version of you for some reason. And so you have to go prune or something all these other Fox characters. Like, and that's why there's been rumors of like Jennifer Garner's Elektra is going to show up. There's been rumors that like Ben Affleck's Daredevil is going to show up and
I was
stuff
about
like
to
that.
say that. I was about to say that.
Yeah. And so because he has to go take care of all this stuff, like, and the Fantastic Four and stuff like Chris.
Are you gonna see Blade?
That could. I don't know if that was 20th Century Fox actually or not. I can't remember which studio owned that. But there's been a lot of rumors that Chris Evans is going to be in it, but as the Human Torch and not as Captain America. And so because he has to go take care of all of this, he's going to be like, oh, well, I want to go get Wolverine. And since he has that time travel thing and he's with the TVA, he can go grab Wolverine before he dies in that timeline with Logan. So I think it's going to be the Wolverine we know from the X-Men movies already, like the Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be our Wolverine in the MCU. I think that's going to be a completely new actor. I think it's going to be completely clean slate with that. I think this is going to be more of like a love letter to like, hey, you guys have watched these X-Men movies and these Fantastic Four movies and the crappy Daredevil movie for all these years. That's been a thing. This is going to be the send-off. This is going to be like all right, these things are gone now. So anyway, that's my theory. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think that might be.
I just want to see in that movie at least one scene where we see Danny Rand show up and go, "I'm the immortal Iron." It's like destroyed by Wolverine or something. I'm sorry because so obnoxious that version of Danny Rand.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to because
I'm the immortal Iron Fist.
They've made that canon now. That's canon.
They can literally do him
now.
head down. Like they don't gotta do his face. They can do just like he says it enough in the show.
I know, but it's just kind of like now that they've made that canon to the MCU timeline, are they going to like recast, or are they going to keep it and just put it under a different director? Like, what's going to happen with that?
They could bring in a alternate Iron Fist from another
timeline.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, another timeline.
Yeah,
to like kind of take the role.
Because a lot of rumors have been said that he is going to make his like movie debut in Shang-Chi 2, The Wreckage of Time, or whatever it's going to be called. I don't know. That's just like the rumor. That's what it's going to be called. But
now I want to talk about Iron. This is an episode about X-Men, and we're going in about Iron Fist.
For a while, we were on the right track with Deadpool and
Wolverine. Deadpool.
Like that was still X-Men. Now we're getting into Iron Fist. So we gotta.
We need an episode about just the state of the MCU. We could be here for 3 hours.
There are so many things. There are so many things I could talk about.
Okay.
Anyway, there's another episode I want to talk about X-Men season 4. I really, really liked this season. I'm gonna go completely into the next episode I liked a lot was Nightcrawler.
That's what I was going to mention earlier.
Wolverine found God, man. At the end, he was in church. He was like, Nightcrawler got to him and actually got to his soul, and Rogue saw him at the end, and I was like, I loved how they did not hold back with Nightcrawler's character. Mm-hmm. Nightcrawler is a very religious character. He is a devout Christian. And so it's like, in the X-Men 2 movie that he's actually in, he mentions that he's a Christian and stuff like that, but it's not like a huge focal point of his character. Whereas this, he's a freaking monk, and he's like trying to convince everyone, like, look, we got to do the right thing, all right? God is like, we got to just believe in God, okay? And we got to do the right thing. And I was like, okay, Nightcrawler. They handled this character really well.
I guess they could go back and kind of rework it. We haven't, obviously the show's not over yet. But Nightcrawler's dad, at least in the show, was just a dude, like a noble dude.
Yes.
And like canon, it's I can't remember his name. Like basically the red version of Nightcrawler.
Azazel?
Just like him. Thank you, Azazel.
Azazel is his brother in the comics.
I always thought it was his dad.
It's his half brother. I'm 99% sure.
Because in this show, he has a brother who hates mutants.
Yes, that weird guy.
What's his face?
Which, that was a really good twist. That was a good twist. That, like, they randomly brought back from season 3. I was like, look at this continuity for this 90s animated children's show.
Because it's Wolverine. No, that's not him. It's Sabretooth and Mystique made him.
Yes,
and then Mystique and the Noble made Nightcrawler. So that's his half brother. I've always known Azazel to be his father. I've always known that. I've never heard of his brother before.
You're right. I'm wrong.
That's why he's blue and looks like him.
It is Azazel. So I don't know why they didn't do that. That's kind of weird.
I mean, it still could happen.
I'm gonna head on out.
I mean, Mystique.
That's it for me.
Mystique was a freak.
So yeah. But I loved that episode. And then not to mention, Nightcrawler randomly shows back up like towards the closing part of the season, and they still don't change his character, like, at all. They still make him just as religious and just as like, hey, Wolverine, like, are you opening yourself up to the bigger picture? Like, are you trying to like do something for maybe like not look at it through your eyes, but look at it through someone who's bigger than you, their eyes? And I was like, man, Nightcrawler's just hitting all the emotions right now.
Yeah, he's spitting some wisdom.
Yeah, man. Okay, do you have another one?
One, I guess it's a 2-part episode. One with Proteus.
Yes.
Yeah. Who freaking names their son Proteus, by the way? That was his name?
I don't know.
For goodness sake?
I don't know.
But what, basically, not the episode itself, it was interesting enough, but what he did to Wolverine.
Yes.
That set Wolverine off to go on that whole journey. He went to Japan.
Wolverine tripped on acid.
That was a whole arc.
That's what happened. He literally tripped on acid. He had a really bad trip, and then he had to go find himself in Japan.
He
Oh
had
my
to get clean.
god. But no, I liked the Proteus episode. I felt like it could have been done in one episode maybe, but
Yeah.
just because I felt like the entire second episode was just like, I still gotta go talk to my father, even though I know he doesn't want to talk to me. I gotta go talk to my father.
Yeah, it was a bit drawn out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I did like the main story. Like I didn't know, God, what's her name? Uh,
His
Moria.
mother?
Moria. I didn't know she had a son because I mean I've only seen her in like X-Men First Class and Apocalypse and stuff, the live action movies. So I didn't know that she had a random mutant son who was crazy.
Who can quite literally change reality around him.
Yes.
He is basically a what do they call it? Class like Omega mutant or whatever. What's it called? I forget the name.
Yeah.
Like he literally alters reality.
And I hate having to backtrack again, but there's another episode I want to talk about that was before this one, which I feel like would be a crime if we didn't talk about, was the one with the different timeline where Charles Xavier was killed and Wolverine and Storm were together.
Smooching.
Yeah, dude, they were smooching.
They were smooching.
He called
her
darling.
get it, Wolfie.
Called her darling.
Yeah. Darling.
I was like, oh, Wolfie.
And then they went back. They went back to the normal, like the normal timeline, and they were like still holding each other. I was like, oh,
yeah. But that was like some intense stuff. Like as soon as it changes to the alternate future, they're like all working for Magneto, and they're all on the same side and stuff like that. And I was like, if this was the freaking like movie, if this was a live action movie, I'd be like up in my seat. I'd be like, oh my god, like what's going on? What's happening? It's like a huge change of plot. This is incredible. So,
I was like, you're both single. You can still like, I don't know. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I know. It's like the right time and the right place. You know, they never found that.
Yeah.
So, but I had to bring that one up. That one was so
Black
good.
Panther.
Yep, she did. God, what was the other one? Oh, the other one with Nightcrawler that I brought out earlier. I'm so happy that they did acknowledge that Mystique was his mother. I wanted to bring that out too. And then him confronting her about it. That was what I wanted to say. About the fact that, like, he was like, I forgive you for giving me up and, you know, treating me like trash and throwing me in the river and stuff. Like, I forgive you. I want you to be okay. I want to protect you. And her being like, I don't deserve this. You know, like, what are you doing? Her finally, like, taking that responsibility and being like, okay, maybe I did do the wrong thing. And, like, now somebody's treating me right, and I don't know how to take this. I was like, these are such big messages and plot lines for a 90s animated children's show.
God dang. That's something. This is not a children's show. This is
not. Yeah.
A lot happens in this show. All right, dude. We've been going on for a little while. Do we want to wrap up? Is there anything else you want to bring up?
Well, we can't wrap up. Oh, real quick, I'll just bring up the 2-episode Wolverine arc when he goes to Japan, and then also when he finds out that, like, some of his life was a lie. Like, some of these memories that he had was fake.
Yes.
And stuff.
Oh my goodness, you brought up that. I forgot about that one.
That was incredible. And the fact that,
like Silver Fox or whatever, he had a whole life with her.
And it's like,
but it was like manufactured.
Yeah. And
and then like the end, it did show it wasn't on the cabin, it was on a tree.
Yes.
So while like the setting was manufactured, their love was real.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the real fact that he hated Sabretooth so much was for the fact that he killed Silver Fox and the other guy, but they weren't dead. That was manufactured. Or that was, like, it didn't happen, you know? So it was like, okay, maybe he doesn't hate Sabretooth as much as he thought now, you know? Like, maybe there's kind of like that, you know, they used to be friends, so it's gotta kind of be like, you know, okay, maybe I was wrong a little bit. And he took that responsibility when they were working together at the end to fight that weird cyborg thing.
That whole episode, Beast was just like the third wheel.
I know, Beast was just like, dude, I love Beast so much. I still do. Every episode he's in, he's just like spitting random quotes. And I'm like, everybody who's hearing that is kind of just like,
that man is the anchor to everybody. He's their rock.
Okay.
He knows what's up.
So I know you said you wanted to go ahead and wrap up, but I can't believe we'd skip over this. We need to talk about this because this was
Okay.
this was probably my favorite arc of the entire show so far. The
Okay.
Beyond Good and Evil arc. The final
Beyond Good
4-part
and Evil.
episode with Apocalypse taking over all of
Okay, so
time. And every mutant from like all
it's coming back to me.
time. Like we
Coming back to
had
me.
Bishop, we had Cable, we had frickin' Magneto working together towards the end. Like everybody was working together against Apocalypse. And I was like, this is what I felt like X-Men Apocalypse should have been. Like this
And did you
is
know? Do you know
fantastic.
who the crazy guy is?
No, is he Wizard? Is it Wizard? Who is it?
He is he who should not be named.
Voldemort?
Wrong phrasing. You know what I mean.
I don't know what.
Oh, how does it go? You know what I mean. From Loki. What's his face?
From Loki.
The
Oh,
bad guy.
Kang? That was Kang?
Yes, he is Kang. Remember at the very end he turns to his older self? That is Kang after he's Kang. So Kang the Conqueror then becomes that guy.
He who remains.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. He
shall
who
not
remains.
be named. I was like,
Voldemort?
Voldemort?
You got Harry Potter showing up. I want to be a wizard.
I'm a wizard. But I just gotta say, so much happened in that movie. I mean, Scott and Jean finally get married, you know, and then Jean gets kidnapped. Freaking Mr. Sinister is there, and he kidnaps all the psychics in the world, or at least tries to, and then Apocalypse shows up, and it's all his plan. He wants to destroy all of time. I was like, okay, this is actually like a huge episode. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if this was the series finale. Like, I'm surprised there's another series, like another season before we get to the new one. You know, it's like, This felt very finale. Like, literally, everybody was there. Everybody showed up. Even Quicksilver.
What's funny
and stuff.
The whole time, and they literally called it the Nexus. And I'm just like, yo, is that the TVA? Are they there? Did I say that right? Is the TVA? I can never remember these stupid acronyms.
The TVA.
And I was just like, I was just like, is that them? Is that what that is? And then sure enough, at the end, Kang shows up. I had to look it up because I was like, who is this dude? And then like I found that out. I was like, it all makes sense.
I forgot. That was the worst part.
So much sense.
He was the worst part of the episode for me.
He created the Nexus. He made all of that possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, is Kang going to be in the next season? Because they introduced him.
I know. That's kind of... I'm intrigued to find out for sure. But I forgot to look it up, who it was, because I remember seeing that, and then I like had to go back to work immediately. And I was like, I don't remember like research that at the end. And then I completely forgot until you mentioned it here. But his character before he morphed back into Kang was so annoying. Literally worst part of the episode for me. Every time he was around friggin' Bishop, I was like, man, I feel so bad for that guy right now. Stuck in this like weird dimension that he can't escape.
You can't even shoot him away. He's just there.
Yeah.
So
but I mean, honestly, those 4 episodes, so good. Like so good.
Amazing.
This entire season, everything except the Christmas episode. Fantastic.
Golden.
So good.
Golden.
So good.
So it was beautiful. We got to see Mojo at some point in a quick flash.
We got to see Mojo destroyed from all of time. That's what the Flash was in. It was when Apocalypse was destroying the timelines, and it didn't show her reappear. It just showed her disappear. And so I was like,
I thought it was a he.
Whatever. An it. It's an it.
That thing.
Yeah, the thing. So anyway, I saw it disappear, and I was like, you know what, Apocalypse? Maybe you ain't so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you ain't so bad with your weird,
bad, you know?
your weird goth lipstick, you know? You purple goth lipstick.
But I gotta admit, like, going from, you know, season 1, I really liked. I thought it was a great start. Season 2, I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna get through 5 seasons of this. This is not that great. And season 3 picked it up. Season 4, gold star, man. I swear,
Man.
like, there was not a time where I was like, I want to take a break from watching this except for the Christmas episode. I was literally like,
It was only 20 minutes though.
yeah, exactly. But like every episode, I was like, man, this is a really good plot line and handled really well. So,
see,
loved it.
I want them to make a episode for episode remake of this entire show, but 40-minute episodes.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I mean, maybe skip some of the super episodes, but like
you make them put on an extra 20 minutes to the Christmas episode.
and it's just Storm realizing how much of a terrible person she is.
Like, oh, I guess I was the leader of the Morlocks. Maybe I should have done something. Oh gosh, but I think this might be our longest episode. I don't even know how long this freaking is. Right?
I will tell you, dude.
This is 31 minutes right now. Oh my god.
Yep, yeah, it is.
This is our longest episode. But this was the longest season. It was 24 episodes, I think.
And it was a banger.
And
like we could not leave episodes out because like we went off a tangent about X-Men Wolverine.
Yeah, but like there's so much in every episode that it was like, I feel bad for leaving some out. There are still a few that we didn't talk about that I'm like, I could say a few things about that, but like we don't have to go.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited now with season 5 only being 10 episodes, and then we get to start the new one. I'm so pumped.
Do we rate seasons? We rate seasons, don't we?
I don't think we do. I think we just say worth your time.
Well, worth your time. Okay.
It's worth your time. 100%. So good.
Worth your time.
If you've got, if you're watching an X-Men season 4 review, like you've most likely watched seasons 1 through 3. So yeah, season 4 worth your time. Like why quit now? You know, because this is the best freaking season so far.
By far,
so good.
Season 2 was rough. Season 1 was like
you're getting into it.
We
you
don't
know,
really
like
know yet. Season 3 was like okay.
Yeah.
And season 4 was like
season 3 was to me the Phoenix season.
Freaky in places.
Season 3 was the Phoenix season. It was like the episodes that weren't relating to the Phoenix, I just kind of felt like we're like, okay, we need to put something in here, like a little bit, to take a little break from this cosmic crap, because like we're putting so many space characters in that like nobody knows who these people are.
I just remember the last episode of season 3 was that random episode with like the alien like space whale thing.
The weird Baldur's Gate 3 episode. That's what it felt like to me. I was like, oh, this is just Baldur's Gate.
You're not wrong. Yeah. You're not wrong.
I know.
Yes, the fleshy spaceship.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
All right.
But yeah, I'm excited to watch season 5.
We're gonna watch it, Jared. And
I'll let you do
I hope it's good.
I'll let you do it. Fine.
We don't know.
We don't.
But
I'm just gonna go with
it. Yeah, I'm stopping it right there.
There was a lot to talk about. There was